Hello, hello, hello. I know it's late. Majority of my people are asleep, but I'm sure they'll come through and click the like button and listen to the story. Okay, I was supposed to tell the story the other day, but as I told y'all, a lot of things have been going on. A lot has just been going on. That's all that matters. So, about 15 and a half years ago, um, I was getting divorced. And mind you, I was going through a rough time mentally, because it was such a strain that marriage relationship, it was such a strain on me, physically and mentally, I was just losing myself. So when divorce time came, I couldn't have been happier. I could not have been happier with getting rid of dead weight. He was just dead weight to me, and I'm glad he was gone. I'm glad he's gone now, and I'm glad that I let that go, you know. So I told you all that my nephew, I told you on Sunday that my nephew, remember, if you remember, I said, my nephew said, "Why don't you go to church with me?" And I was just like, "No, I'm not. No, that's okay." And then the second time I finally went and I started going to church with him. So, mind you, I absolutely love that church. I like the atmosphere. Well, I'm going to talk about then. I love the atmosphere. I love the people that were there. I like that it wasn't extremely big, but it wasn't extremely small. And it was big enough where it wasn't too big, but like I said, it wasn't too big, wasn't too small, but the pastor knew everybody by first name. And that's big to me. And that tells me that you are paying attention to your parishioners. You're paying attention to the congregation. You're paying attention to everybody in there. And like I said, I was going through the divorce. So one day I was just feeling so amazing and so happy and so thankful to God that finally I was getting some relief from that horrific marriage and I was getting out of it. And I told the pastor's wife used to always ask me how you doing, because you know how people can see something and something's on you smiling, but you can tell something is wrong. Well, she saw that, and after church she was like, "Well, let's talk," and I said, "Okay." And after church we talked. I told her everything that I had been going through. I told her about him, the cheating, me catching him out, my girlfriend catching him out, and just how it was taking a toll on me mentally. I keep saying mentally because you have to protect your mental, and I said it just how I meant it. You have to protect your mental, your brain. You have to take care of it. It needs stimulation. It needs to be soothed. And when it's stress, it affects your entire body. So, again, you have to take care of your mental. So, I'm talking to her. Oh, it's getting cold. I'm talking to her, telling her everything that happened. Mind you, again, y'all know what I used to do. My shift at the drop of a dime could change. Now, mind you, I had been going about a year straight, going faithfully, Bible study, tithing, you know, faithfully. And all of a sudden, my job, they're like, "Okay, you're getting they have to give you 15 days notice that your shift is going to change. You'll be working this tour and you'll be working in the section." So I went from doing community outreach, which my days off with community outreach were either Saturday, Sunday, or Sunday, Monday, to Friday, Saturday, back on the street, back in the hood. Okay, so I didn't feel the need. I didn't feel like I had to tell them that I won't be, coming. I told my nephew, but if I thought that it would just be temporarily, but it ended up being permanently. So when I guess about a few months go by, and I know that they asked my nephew how I was doing because they were very close to him. They used to call him their son. That's the nephew that told you, oh, that's my best friend. And his mother passed away. That was his mother was my best friend, my older sister. So few months go by. I told him, I'm working. It's just my shift. I got to work on Sundays. It's nothing I can do. I'm off on Friday, Saturdays. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I would have rather Sunday, Monday, but you know, that's what I got. That's my job. So I go back to church. Let us say about 4 months later. I will never, ever, ever forget this day. So the pastor's preaching. I mean, it was a amazing, Sarah. I mean, it the word was so good, y'all, that I was jumping up and down. I mean, I was up on the floor, singing, praising, smiling, crying. It was just that good. And all of a sudden, he made this comment. He said, "Get ready." His words were, some of y'all just think that you can just come back up in the church, after being gone for so long. And you wonder why things not going right in your life. You getting divorced, y'all stressed out. And as he's talking, he's looking at me. So I'm like, huh? What you listen, I know sometimes that you think when you in church, oh, I felt like that was directed straight towards me. Heck no, it was towards me. When I tell you, and I'm not gonna repeat exactly what I told the co-pastor who was his wife, but what I told her, he said it. He said it without a curse word. And I never cursed too. They never heard me curse. I never cursed in the church. They never saw me do anything wrong. Nothing. I was When I went to church, I was at church. You know, I left everything at the door and I went in church to get the word, get the knowledge, leave and take it, let it marinate on my brain and use it in my everyday life. When I tell y'all what he said, it was exactly what I said to her. What the heck is the likelihood somebody been gone away from the church for X amount of months and they come back and what they said to you is literally what they said to your wife? You are using that in the service and you're repeating it, but you're looking directly at me. I sat there and my voice, I went from a amen, yes, yes. I went from there to I had a straight face and my mouth was wide open. And I said inside my head, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. If we are all guilty of it, there are no perfect people. I'm going to say it again. There are no perfect people. We all make mistakes. We do each and every day. You got people out here that hate on other people and that are jealous of people. And then you got those that don't want other people to get above them. You can be the type of person that helps people, but if it was flipped on the other side, they wouldn't do a damn thing to help you. But that right there, what I assumed I was directly correct. Because I mean, not correct, I was exactly correct. After the service, I did not, I put a smile on my face because I'm good at that. You're never going to know what I'm thinking. You're never going to know. You'll never know. You could be dead on, and I wouldn't tell you you were right because my business is my business. But I felt safe in the house of the Lord to confess what I was going through with the co pastor who was his wife because I believed in them, you know? And I'm not saying that they're bad people, they're just not the people for me. After that, she looked at me like when I was, as we're cleaning up, putting the Bibles back, and I always bought my Bible. I still have it till this to this day. I've had it for over 20 years. Um, I was cleaning up, helping, sweeping, spraying, wiping down in bathrooms and stuff. I mean, I would just do that stuff because that's just the type of person I am. If I can buy supplies, I would go and buy supplies just to bring them back. Because again, that's how I am. I can't change that about me. I'm a giver, not a taker. So she came and she was like, "Hey, you all right?" And mind you, I'm just talking, kicking it with everybody. And I said, "Sure, I sure am." But she knew, when they know they effed up and they try to play it off like she ain't catch on. Yes, yeah, I caught on. I caught on. Didn't call her no names under my breath, none of that. But what I did do was I said, I wish that I could honestly say that that was the place for me to be because I so even to this day want it to be. But I have a thing, maybe it's a Pisces thing, or maybe it's just a maybe it's just human nature, forgiving and letting go. It still bothers me to this day. It still bothers me. So that tells you something. If it's bothering me that much, I know I need to work on that. I know, and I've said this before, I don't like to hold grudges, but I know that I'm guilty of it because I'm a human being. But that right there, I already, I really don't trust people because I would never want to be somebody's, we call it pillow talking, a woman pillow talking with her friends, or you using me as a topic to gossip about with your friends or whomever, talk about me to somebody else. I already don't trust people, you know. I trust my family, but I don't trust outside of that because, like y'all don't know me like that. I'm a giver, not a taker, but that's all you really know about me. But there's nothing spectacular about anybody else that I would choose to gossip about and put their business out about. So, with that being said, I literally stopped going. I I would go sporadically, but I was not as committed as I was. And I'm still a member there, but I just haven't been. And I want to go back. They still haven't opened it up because of COVID, and I understand. But that right there hurt me so bad because I felt like I'm in the house of God. I can confess it, it'll stay here. But again, people are people, people are human beings, and we can't put people up on this pedestal and think they can do no wrong. That's what I hope that that's what you get out of this. Whoever comes back, and if you listen to it again, you know, you can't put people on a pedestal thinking that they will do no wrong. We are all human beings. God, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, those are the only two I feel can never do anything wrong, can never do wrong. But, you know, it was hard, but my nephew asked me from time to time, "Well, why don't you come to church and why don't you do this and why don't you do that?" And I'm just like, I'm just not I'm just not, I'm really as long as it's been, I'm just not over it. And I'm gonna pray on that tonight because I want to let it go. I got some things on my mind. I gotta let them go. I'm thinking about my mom, and that's big on my heart right now. My mother, because my mother, I explained to you all, has Alzheimer's, and they've closed the nursing facilities down again, and I can't you can't see them, I can't touch her, and it's just hard. It's just hard. But anyway, enough of that. But yeah, I want to work on my trust issues with people. And again, the what I hope you get out of this is, stop putting people on pedestals. Stop thinking that they can do no wrong. Don't put yourself on one when you're one of the biggest sinners out here. Oh, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do that. No, you do worse. And be careful what you say and what you do. But that's about it. That's my story time. I will do another one tomorrow. I am going to keep this going. Because that is the one thing that I used to do a lot of is story time. So I will see you all tomorrow. I will be live tomorrow. And I don't know what we're going to talk about just yet. There were a couple of things that were going on, but yeah, we're going to get some conversation in. Oh, and I did purchase something tonight. I went into, oh, I'll talk about that tomorrow. All right. Nail polish. Hint, hint. All right, y'all. Good night. Love y'all.